Good afternoon. Welcome to the Connected Table Live on W4CY Radio. I'm your host, Melanie Young. My co-host, David Ransom, will be joining us hopefully later on in the show. He's leading a prestigious Wine Media Guild lunch in New York. So you've got me, and I am delighted to be here. Just a little bit about us. We are your insatiably curious culinary couple, and each week we bring you the movers and shakers and the people who work front and center and behind the scenes in the world of food, wine, spirits, and hospitality. You can follow us on Facebook. Please like us at The Connected Table. Follow us at Connected Table, in Twitter at Connected Table. And our website is www.theconnectedtable.com. My next guest, I met many years ago when I was running the James Beard Awards. And she is a dynamo. Her name is Elizabeth Blau, and she runs Blau and Associates, which is a restaurant consulting and operations company. You may not know the name. I do, of course, and anybody in the industry does, but you will know what she's done. She basically has helped transform Las Vegas into the phenomenal dining mecca it is today, period. And she basically is now consulting for major companies and hotel companies around the world doing the same. Elizabeth Blau, welcome.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
How do you like that intro? I
love that intro.
You have an amazing, I was just on the website, and you stress that you're operators. You know the business inside out, and you've got a pretty solid team, including your husband, Chef Kim Kentonwala, who I remember when y'all met, we were producing the Bon Appetit Wine and Spirits Focus. And
I know.
Blossomed out in Vegas. I want to just take it back. After you left the James Beard Foundation, where you were like the lowly intern, I think you were helping with scholarship, you really got a plum assignment. You went to go work with Sirio Macchione, right?
Yes. Well, I was at Cornell doing my master's in strategic restaurant marketing at the hotel school, but it was a summer internship, and I was working for the Beard Foundation with Mitchell Davis, and that's where we first met. And it was, an incredible springboard because I met everyone in New York, every chef and restaurateur through the Beard Foundation, and including the Macchionis.
And you basically, at that time, they just had Le Cirque. And then weren't you involved with Osteria de Churco and then taking Le Cirque to Las Vegas, which is how you caught Steve Wynn's eye, right?
So my master's thesis was a strategic marketing plan for Churco, which was originally going to be called Saltimbanco.
Interesting.
And so I spent the better part of a year working with the three Macchione brothers on the restaurant. And so, yes, when I graduated, I actually went to the old Le Cirque for about 6 months, and then got to be part of actually led the opening of with the brothers of Osteria del Churco. So that was quite extraordinary. And then we negotiated the deal to do Le Cirque and Churco at the Bellagio. So spent about a year with Steve Wynn's team negotiating on that. And then somewhere in the process, Mr. Wynn lured me away.
Yes, he did. And that was a big lure. I mean, I used to think you were like the adopted Macchione sister. You were, with them so much. And really, it was quite a big venture for Sirio and Sons, and a smart one. So Steve Wynn lured you to Las Vegas, and you were given the directive to lure some of the top chefs in the United States to come set up restaurants in the Bellagio, right?
Well, actually, to be quite honest with you, when I moved out to Las Vegas, the initial plan was just to help formulate, what the food and beverage program at Bellagio was. Then from there, it morphed into what the food and beverage programming was for all of the Mirage resorts. So, it really, kind of happened organically that Todd English and John George and Michael Mina and Petrosian Caviar and Nancy Silverton did a La Brea Bakery. But, each one of those, really happened organically along the way. Gamal Aziz became the vice senior vice president of food and beverage, Kevin Stussy, and I worked alongside one another. It really just evolved into one of the most extraordinary food and beverage programs, ever in a hotel property. Not the least of which was the Picasso-designed restaurant that was created for Julian Serrano.
And one of my favorites. I mean, it really was magical. I mean, wouldn't you say that before that, it was really all-you-can-eat buffets and a few nice restaurants in Vegas?
Exactly. I mean, really Wolfgang Puck was a pioneer.
Right.
Jean-Louis Paladin,
yes.
Changed the landscape again when he came and,
yes.
And took over as executive chef of Napa, because he was the first chef to actually, of that caliber to move to Las Vegas. Emeril and Mark Miller and Wolfgang all had restaurants, but, that wasn't their primary residence. And then it's just gone haywire from there, between the chefs and the sommeliers and some of the most extraordinary restaurant design in the country.
Truly. And at that point, Steve Wynn was CEO of Mirage. So how many resorts were we talking about that you were overseeing and working on?
So we also built at the same time the Beau Rivage, which was in Biloxi, Mississippi, which is in the deep South, where my husband and I actually met, spending a lot of time in New Orleans and in Mississippi and Alabama. Beautiful parts of the country to explore. Mm-hmm. And then he had Treasure Island, he had Golden Nugget, and of course the Mirage in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and then what happened? MGM acquired Mirage in 2000, right?
Yep, Steve sold the company to Kirk Kerkorian.
I remember
and
that.
Then what happened from there was I figured this is my time to go back to New York. But what happened was that Terry Lanny, who was CEO of the newly minted MGM Mirage Corporation, asked me to come work for him in the same capacity. So I was the senior vice president of restaurant development for MGM and Mirage, and we had new things coming online, like the Borgata and the MGM Detroit. So it was a massive job, but it was a very different environment. MGM was a very big, very corporate entity, and even with all those hotels and tens of thousands of food and beverage employees, working for Steve and Elaine Wynn was very much a family affair, which is the same experience with working for the Macchionis, and that was really something that I was far more comfortable with. So I left and I started Blau and Associates, put out my shingle, and at the time Steve Wynn had just purchased the Desert Inn from Barry Sternlick and was ready to get started again, and had some clients in New York. And just about that time was when Kerry Simon decided that he was ready to leave Jean-Georges. He had done an extraordinary job helping to establish Prime as one of the premier steakhouses in the city. And so from there, we opened our first restaurant, Simon Kitchen and Bar, which was at the Hard Rock.
And you're still partners with Kerry.
Kerry and I are still partners. We moved that Simon location to the Palms Place Hotel. And along the way did projects in New York and LA and Telluride, and so we've been best friends and partners now for over 12 years. And of course, as you know, Kerry is fighting this horrible disease that most people have never heard of, called MSA, which is a neurodegenerative disease in the same family as ALS and Parkinson's, MS, and Alzheimer's. So we're doing all we can to help Kerry in his fight.
Well, your charitable efforts, first of all, a little segue, we'll go back to the business, but you have huge, you and Kim and your company are very supportive of numerous charitable efforts, and your support for helping raise awareness and funds for Kerry has been amazing. I follow it on Facebook and just only hope that I know it's a terrible disease and there's not a cure, so the key is to manage it. And he's still you've been amazing as his partner. So I have to commend you on that. I really
Thank you.
do. You're
Thank you.
also partners with Buddy. Is it Valis?
Velastro.
Thank you. Yeah, Buddy
The
V's,
cake boss.
Cake Boss. That's your other one. And then, of course, you and Kim have Honey Salt, which I haven't
We
been
have
to.
Honey Salt, and then we've got the newly opened Made LV, as in homemade, and that's our American tavern. And then in February, we have Andiron, which is our steak and seafood restaurant. So Kim and I have three together, and then Carrie and I have Simon, and then the Buddy V's, which is in the Venetian, has just been doing extraordinarily well. It is just really been off the charts. There's the Carlos Bakery next door, and his fan base is unbelievable. He is his television shows are seen in 150 countries, and over 250 million people view his television shows every year. And we just got back, both our families. We have one. We have Cole, and they have four beautiful children. And he and Kim just did the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, and so all the kids got to spend the week in Disney World and Epcot Center, and it was a lot. It was exhausting. I've never been on so many roller coasters, but it was a lot of fun as well.
How do you balance you travel a lot. You were just here also when you just helped the legendary Rainbow Room reopen after many years of it not being open, right?
Yes, over 4 years.
Yeah, I guess, I haven't been yet, but back in the day, in 1992, the late, great Joe Baum gave me an office. I said it was somewhere over the rainbow, where I helped him and Tim Zagat start Restaurant Week, which is, the famous New York Restaurant Week. So I felt like Eloise. Yeah, I felt like Eloise at the Plaza because I had carte blanche to go have lunch at Rainbow Room anytime I wanted, and it was such a thrill to invite my dad. I got to invite my dad to New York and have lunch, and it was a magical time, and it's a magical place. So I'm glad to see that it is open. It's not open every day. It's like open limited or for private events.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Melanie, that I thought, in my career that when I opened Bellagio, that was going to be the pinnacle, and then Mr. Wynn decided to do it again with Wynn and Encore. But there's something about, being part of, this project, which we worked on for over 3.5 years with Tishman Speyer, being in Rockefeller Center, being in New York, being 65 floors above New York City with these extraordinary panoramic views that really, was kind of, still gave me goosebumps after all these years. It's just amazing. I think the estimates that I've read in the press, because no one discussed budgets with me, but in the press, I read that it was over $50 million. But really the attention to detail from the windows to the interiors was just magical, and to be part of bringing back such a historic landmark to the city was really extraordinary. So there's the most amazing Sunday destination brunch with food and cuisines from all over the world, from Asian to Indian to classic brunch items, and then on Monday nights, there is Chef Jonathan Wright is doing a magnificent dinner, and then there's some form of entertainment and dancing. So the old wooden dance floor was completely restored.
Does it still move? Does it still move?
It still rotates, and it's just magnificent. The chandeliers were all painstakingly restored. I think it was the grandson of the original man who built the revolving wood dance floor restored that, and then the rest of the week it will be available for private events. But there's also now a cocktail lounge called 65, which is open Monday through Friday, and so any day of the week you're able to go up there and have a cocktail. There's also an outdoor patio, which I haven't been in New York in a couple of weeks, but I understand it's already gotten cold.
Yeah.
But in season there is an outdoor patio area that again has just the most magnificent views, and there's sheer glass panels, so nothing is obstructing. It's safe, but nothing is obstructing the view.
Well, is the cocktail lounge where the original one was, where, of course, Dale DeGroff got his start?
No, it was you would remember it as the pavilion where the Chihuly sculptures were.
Okay. I produced a lot of events there. I attended a lot of events there. I had a lot of drinks there. Joe, when I was reporting to him, he liked to have lots of long meetings. And it was hard because I would be in the a different elevator bank uh, and have to go from
I,
three elevators.
I know about the logistics of those elevators, so
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was hard because I'd get to his office and I'd be like, "Oh my God, I forgot something. I have to go down, take three elevators back," and but it was a magical time. So thank you for helping to bring back the magic. I can't wait to go there. And I'm sure Joe, wherever you are, I bet you're smiling. I really am. So I was getting ready before I segued to Rainbow. You travel a lot. You are a wife and a mom. You have a 10-year-old Cole. How does that all factor in? And what are you teaching him and keeping that life in balance?
Well, the funny thing is that oftentimes I'm trying to get him to cook with his dad, but his dad is so busy, so they've bonded over football. They are crazy football fanatics, and so Cole is a Seahawks fan currently. Sometimes his teams change because, of course, he was born in Las Vegas, so he doesn't have a native team, and he has not adopted my New England Patriots. So they've bonded over that, but now Cole has decided, because of our relationship with Buddy, that he wants to be a baker. So he is quite an exceptional little pie baker. That seems to be his favorite. But we really balance family time. Sunday is our time to be together. We really try and plan something on school vacations to go somewhere. He does love to travel like we do. And then, we have the unique opportunity that we come back east in the summer, to Connecticut, where my parents are. So he gets to understand my New England, and my husband, grew up in Montreal. So he does get to understand our New England and New York roots, and spend that time. And then Kim goes back and forth for the restaurant. So it's hard, to be, two working parents, but, you gotta balance it, and we are so fortunate that we work together and do something that we love, and get to work with really fascinating people, and then get to work with an extraordinary team of people within our consulting and restaurant group. So we're having a lot of fun, and we're really blessed, and so it's incredibly important for us to give back. I'm on the board of trustees for the Culinary Institute. Yep. And I'm also on the Dean's Advisory Board at UNLV, which has one of the top hotel schools in the country. And I also sit on the state board for communities and schools. Our education system in in Nevada, in the state, those kids need an extraordinary amount of help, because we are at the bottom end of the graduation rate. And it's my feeling, if we can't get kids through school and through high school graduation, trying to find a career and make a path is a challenge. And so that we're really committed to that. And also to 3 Square, which is our food bank for Clark County, and the entire chef community in Las Vegas has gotten behind it, and it's we're able to feed an extraordinary amount of people and have a very successful backpack program in over 300 schools, so that kids who are on subsidized meal programs are able to take backpacks of food home for over the weekend, because many of these children just weren't able to eat over the weekend if they weren't being fed in school. And so that's a huge commitment, as well as feeding a lot of the homebound elderly, which is a problem all around the country. So we try and keep it balanced, and then life throws you crazy little wrenches, like what's happening with Kerry and his disease. But you got to forge ahead and remain positive. And I must say that Kerry Simon is a true inspiration, because through all of this, his kindness, his gentleness, and his laughter is still inspiring.
Absolutely. And, the disease is one that affects you physically, as I understand. So mentally, he's as strong as ever. It's just, and he's got a strong spirit.
His body is failing him.
Yeah, sadly, there are a couple of chefs who are facing that, and what I got to just
Yes.
say, yeah, I mean, it's hard, but this community, and I've said this since I've been in it a long time as well, the food community and the hospitality community, they live to serve their community. And they live to give back. So while your life and your profession is in truly fine dining, although I see, you also have, quick, some, medium family service type restaurants as well, high, low, casual, you have run with the best. But you also make sure that those who need to learn about food and need to be fed and nourished are also cared for. And I think that's just the perfect balance, which sounds like you have maintained.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, I also we have about 3 minutes left. I also want to note that, you have a master's degree. And as I progress in life, I keep being told I have to go back and get one, which makes me a little sad at my age. But what is nice about this industry is, yes, it does help to have higher degrees and professional training, but you can also just become an apprentice and work your way up. And so many chefs have just done it that way. And that's what's so great about the restaurant industry is that it provides career opportunities at every level for many people.
Right. Well, let me tell you, I'm very proud of my, my master's degree from Cornell.
You should be, yeah.
But I'm even more proud, of the degrees that I got from the School of Life. I mean, as much as I learned there, I can tell you, working on the floor of Le Cirque and Circo with Cirio Macchioni, working for so many years with Steve Wynn. But even the managers that I worked with, and when I was a taco girl at 16 at Pancho McGee's, that's the brilliance of our industry is as you said, is learning from great mentors, from people that inspire you on every level, whether it's it's fast food, it's just working for people that care. So I've really and from people like Carrie Simon and my husband Kim Cantinwalla. I mean, I continue to learn every day, and every project is different. So I say if there's something specific that you want to pursue with your master's degree, but otherwise just stay out of in the School of Life, because life is too short to not be to be engaged every day.
Exactly. Elizabeth, we're going to have to wrap this up. I just want to say, for anyone who wants to hire your company or work for your company, tell us the goods, the website.
Well, the website's easy. It's elizabethblau.com, and my last name is Blau. So www.elizabethblau will take you to information about the company, our corporate brochure, but it will also give you information on our restaurants, our clients, my amazing team, my business partner, Jason Lappin, and it'll also give you contact information for all of us. So if anyone wants to come work for us or anyone wants to come hire us, that's the place to go, and we'd be thrilled to hear from you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I've got to sign off. Hugs to you, and hope to visit you in Vegas soon or see you on the
You and David need to come out here.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Elizabeth Blau. Have a delicious rest of day.
All right. Thank you. Great to talk to you. Bye-bye.
All right. This is Melanie Young signing off. Have a delicious week. Thank you very much from the Connected Table Live.